Hello everyone and welcome back to my page, Messages from Venus. Okay, so I don't know how many times I've done this video. I'm already in my nightgown. Well, this is a little hat because my hair is a mess as per usual. I never ever do my hair. I don't know why people get surprised, but I never ever do my hair. I always have it like in a buns or something or other. Well, at least not anymore. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys and talk to you guys a little bit about like what's been going on with me and like my feelings, etc., etc. No, I'm not going Christian. Y'all just please. I've been read the Bible. I've been reading spiritual books. I've been having conversations. Sometimes I act like I'm like dumber than Dumber and Dumber when it comes to these things around people, because I don't like, some people just aren't ready and they don't understand, and some people understand but you just can't talk to them in the environment that you wish that you can talk to them in, or you maybe you just met them, etc. But I have been MIA. I do owe like 4 or 5 readings. It's not that I don't care about you guys. You guys love me a lot, because otherwise you guys would have reported me to Etsy by now, and you guys haven't done that. So I appreciate it a lot that you guys are standing by me, that you guys are doing your best to purchase readings, to continue communications with me, even though I've been completely MIA. But the reason why I have been MIA is because I am struggling. I'm stressing. I am overthinking. Things are tipping my scales because they're not going about how I want them to go about, or when I feel forced during this time of the year, mostly during my maybe like August to like January ish, the veil starts thinning. And I don't know about other like spiritual practitioners and where they continue this like slave ship, right? Or and I call it a slave ship because that's exactly what it feels like, and where you're always in service, and you forget about yourself. I have been in service for the past 2 years, and I haven't done anything for me, or truly for me, in the past like 2-3 years. It's about to be 3 years that I've been in this situation, and I'm talking about spiritually. No, I'm not unhappy or completely miserable. I'm just put in a situation in where I feel guilty that I'm not grateful. I feel guilty that I don't appreciate the fact that entities, spirits, ancestors would put me in the predicament in where I am today, or would have saved my ass the 1,000 times that they've saved my ass already, or would bestow such responsibilities on me as far as my spiritual gifts are concerned, as far as like my responsibility, not just with this planet but with the universe. And it becomes difficult sometimes, and I'm gonna talk in code as much as I can, but for those of you that are smart and that are spiritually in tune, you guys will understand what I'm talking about. You guys will understand that when the universe needs you, and you are given gifts, and are given intellect, and are given inner gnosis, especially when it comes to spirituality, it's difficult to take that on wanting that, because with that comes a lot of responsibility, a lot of having to take care of other people, a lot of judgment, a lot of naysayers, a lot of jealousy, a lot of disgusting, ugly, imbalanced energies, and you wouldn't think that. So my situation is kind of like Queen Elizabeth and like the royal family, in a sense where nobody wants the responsibility, but you have to do it anyway. It's who they are, it's where they come from, it's where they're going, and it's where they will forever stay, no matter how many times they reincarnate into this planet. Or no matter how many times they reincarnate into this planet. And I'm kind of like in the same predicament due to my responsibility. And I don't feel worthy because I don't want it. I don't want the responsibilities that have been bestowed upon me. It's difficult for me to even admit that to people, for me to even say that. Like I don't even want the crowns that I have, even though it was the goal. For so long, it was the goal for me to get the crowns that I have, for me to achieve the things that I've achieved without having to reproduce an heir to my throne. Now, for those of you that are truly spiritually inclined, you guys would know that I'm very in tune with how things are being produced and reproduced in this planet. And if I'm going to be part of this system, if I'm going to have a system that works for me, because I don't work for the Matrix, the Matrix works for me. Even if it's me having to go from one job to the next, at the end of the day, the Matrix works for me, and it works for the betterment of me, and it puts me in situations where I am being represented in some way, shape, or form. Right? So I am one of these people that I am a strong believer in not reproducing a physical entity, meaning children, into a planet where you cannot feed them, you can't take care of them, or they're around people that aren't going to love them as much as you love them, or you have standards of unconditional love and love in another degree than anybody else has around you, and that's difficult. So when I'm being asked to give an heir to my throne, when I am being asked to do certain things, otherwise the world is going to end. The world in which you reside in, Madeline, in your bubble, it will end. And I kind of relate a lot to like Queen Elizabeth I, because the first or the second, you guys know who I'm talking about. Not the current Queen Elizabeth, but the Virgin Queen. I kind of resonate a lot with her. I resonate a lot with Elizabeth of York, because, and these are like people that have been royalty on this planet, because they understood that this world works in a certain way, right? This world functions in a certain manner, and if it's not in their picture, they weren't going to reproduce it, and they succeeded, right? They succeeded without having to the Virgin Queen Elizabeth didn't have to give an heir to her throne, even though people say that she was like a hermaphrodite, or she was actually a boy, etc., etc., and that's why that never happened. However, she still brought on the golden age of what Britain was and is today. She laid a lot of foundations without an heir to her throne, and I can relate to that. And that is something that I am pushing forward to do, because I do not want my kids to suffer. I would take on the suffering of my children. I would sacrifice my own happiness for them. And I talk about them like they were in this physical realm, because I already have a relationship with them. I already know who they are. I know where they come from, and I know the responsibilities that's going to come with their title. And I'm afraid, because it's kind of like, as a kid, you kind of like are overprotected. My grandmother always overprotected me, my mom, my dad, like even my little brothers today still overprotect me. And so I kind of have like that royalty type of relationship. And my naysayers might say, well, you're always wearing the same thing, or it's probably her boyfriend doesn't want to confirm for her, or her boyfriend doesn't want to do this for her, her boyfriend doesn't want to do that for her. And it's all about the boyfriend. And it's like, if you were put in the same predicament where my boyfriend and I have been put in many circumstances, not only in our own relationship, but outside of our own relationship, you wouldn't do it either. Because when you're put in a situation or in a box where you have to lose yourself to be able to gain other things, or to be able to just gain another facets of yourself, or other facets of yourself, it's not easy. Because you have to kill yourself. Literally, you have to kill yourself. And I killed myself over 2 years ago. I killed who that entity of Madeline Martinez was. Even though on paper I am still Madeline Martinez, but I know, my battery is about to die. But I know who I am, and I am more than just Madeline Martinez. So with that being said, it takes a lot of responsibility. especially when you have seen the most ugliest, the most disgusting, the most vile people on this planet, the most disgusting reincarnated souls on this planet, that if they knew who God was, they would try to kill it to replace him or her, and he or she and her, whatever you identify with God to be. And that has been very, 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 very difficult for me. And I've never been afraid to admit that. I've never, like, I know you guys are watching, like, fucking, like just leeches. I know you guys are watching, but I don't care, because it's not about you. It's not about you. I did what I had to do for the bigger picture. And now I have to take care of myself. I have to put myself in certain situations and platforms where I have to take care of myself, because I already killed myself. I already killed that person who Madeline Martinez was. And somewhere along the line, you kind of realize yourself, and you realize that you're more than just the name that has been bestowed upon you, and that you would have to recreate yourself. So, for example, if you are born with the name Madeline Martinez, and then you decide to take on the name Madeline Rogers, it's going to change your frequency. So that's what's been going on here with me. I always suffer from anxiety. I always suffer from depression, but it's not a depression like everyone else's definition of depression. I suffer it in my own way. Sometimes I cause it upon myself. Sometimes my partner causes it upon me knowingly, and that too is hurtful. Sometimes the people around me, my family, their decisions, and how they work their own lives causes me depression as well, because I am a healer, I am a helper, I am a provider. And when I'm not in that space and I'm asked to step aside so that karma can work his or her magic, and I can continue to rebuild myself, since I killed myself a long time ago, it's difficult because I don't like to see people suffer. But if I have to take your crown, I will. If I have to take you out of the map, I will, because I have a goal. And once I focus on that goal, there's nothing else matters but that goal. However, I do have to understand that when you are a spiritual person, when you are a spiritual entity, and you're not just defined as, I'm a human being. No, I am a spiritual entity living and experiencing a human experience. And when you understand that, which is something that I just understood, even though I have all these things bestowed upon myself, it's easier, because then you understand, a lot of things are outside of yourself. And if you have a goal in mind and you don't allow your naysayers, people that are always talking crap or wanting to give their opinion about your life, or wanting you to do things for them, or how they want you to do things to make them happy, it makes a hell of a difference when it comes to you achieving your goal, because you understand it's your goal. I've had people say, well, you don't work for them, you work for me. I don't work for anybody. The matrix works for me. And if it's not functioning and it's not working for me, I will stop, and I will raise hell. I will raise hell, even if I give myself extreme anxiety, even if I have to leave myself in a room or in my room for 2 days at a time. I will raise hell. And also, in the same token, I also have to understand that there are people that are working for their survival of who I represent, which is the divine feminine, not just in the physical realm, but also in the subconscious of people. If you are a male, you represent the divine masculine, and also in the subconsciousness of people. And when you realize that, and when you realize yourself, it's a totally different experience and a feeling of how you wake up every day and how you want to do things every day. I've also had to realize my failures. Once again, I once in a very long past life was somewhere, and when I realized it all by myself, sitting there alone, I couldn't take that. I couldn't take my own creation. It was too much for me. And in this life, it hasn't been too much for me, but it's still difficult for me to accept that this was the only way, and this is the only way, and it's been very difficult for me, or this is whom I have already chosen for myself to be with or to be around with. And then when you understand the process of alchemy, two opposites attract to make perfection, to make the perfect half of everything. And that's something that's also been burdening me, and it's been difficult for me. And I apologize for those of you who have purchased readings, who have not reported me to my Etsy shop, who have just stood there and have been very, very patient with me. But this is the reason why my readings and everything else have been late, besides the fact that I have this personal journey to adhere to, that every step of the way, every step that I make, every step forward, every step backward, every stillness that I take depends on everyone. And when you're a spiritual consultant, when you're a spiritual reader, and you realize that you're an astrologer, you realize that you are made in the image of the universe, and that the universe has bestowed the responsibility upon you to continue its journey so that it too can survive. It opens up, like, it just opens up, it parts the seeds in a different way. It parts the seeds, just like Moses parted the seas. The universe parts its seeds for me. It's the seeds are parted for me, and that's difficult for me because I don't even like attention. So just to know that alone, it makes me feel a certain way. It gives me anxiety just to think about it. And it's not that I am not fit to be a queen. It's not that I am not fit to rule in my own dynasty, in my own rights, in my own life. Everyone is fit to rule. However, sometimes those responsibilities can be big, can be bigger than you, can be bigger than you ever thought. Okay, so that's what's going on with me. When you have the responsibility in your hands for the livelihood of others, you want to perfect it. And I don't think that humanity needs to continue to depend on on as much suffering, because the universe always requires a sacrifice. There will always be a sacrifice, no matter whether you want to admit that or not. And I sacrificed myself to almost 3 years ago. It's about to be 3 years, yeah. Almost 3 years ago, and I knew to choose the players of the game to be able to clear my karma. And I used to feel guilty for it because I had sympathy for a lot of people that didn't deserve sympathy. Until this day, they will never change. To this day, they're still trying to come for me. They're still trying to do certain things. And it's like, okay, whatever, I already have your crowns. So, okay, whatever, you do that. You keep lighting them candles. You keep doing that because I already snatched your crowns. And no matter how unhappy I sometimes feel, and no matter how much I cry to my friends sometimes about my situation or my spiritual well-being, my spiritual growth, my descent, who I am, my spiritual realization, my spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call that, my rainbow existence, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, no matter how much they know what's going on in my relationship, which is not the prettiest thing, where my boyfriend and I constantly disrespect one another or cross certain lines with one another. Whether we want to be with each other or not at the moment, it doesn't matter. Whether some people think, oh, he's only with her for the car, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that he's not with you. See how that works? The fact of the matter is that he's not with you. And even if he could be living with the mother of his child today, he could be living today with the mother of his child, still being with me in a relationship. And the fact of the matter is that he is not hers and he does not belong to her. You just have to go through certain things, and you have to know that. And there's people, look, oh boy. But I mean, I guess you guys can all be watching. I'm still waiting for the receipts. Girl, you're sick. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, the fact of the matter is that it's a lot. It's a lot to look at your partner and know that the love of your life is the person that you're not. It's like you're complete opposite. But you can't live without that person, and that person can't live without you. And you hate that person, and that person hates you. But at the same token, you can't. It's like you cannot live without one another. and it's been difficult for me because my entire existence, even before I was born, my mother, I know, used to pray like, I don't want my daughter to end up like me. I don't want my daughter to not be loved. Or anytime my father would disrespect her, or make her go through certain things, or have her or even his family have her go through certain things here and there, it was still about me. You know, I've been like the center of the universe, Little Miss Perfect, having to do certain things, you know. And once I kind of let that go, but still understanding my responsibility, it's been easier for me. But it still causes me anxiety and depression because I understand that my life, that other people's life depend on my well-being and my existence, and that's a lot of burden to take on. That's a lot. It's a lot. My success, a lot of people are depending on my success. I just want those people that are thinking about, oh look, we're depending on Madeline's success. Don't think of it like that. Understand that we are all one. And that if, let's say, my old employers, if you guys are watching, I don't know, maybe you guys found me on the internet, like, I don't look, it's all in here. I have all the crowns that I need as of right now. And even if I move forward with all of my crowns, and today you guys are still in business and you guys think that you guys are still dipping it and doing it, know that you guys definitely are dipping it and doing it. But the scale always moves in different ways. Kind of have to be careful with that, and know that I put you guys in that predicament, and I put you in certain predicaments because I don't work for you. The system doesn't work. I don't work for the system works for me. And don't feel guilty of how things have transpired. Don't look back, because you will turn into stone. And know that sometimes you will be chosen to become the sacrifice, or be the person to give in someone else, just like Judas was chosen to give in Jesus, and he knew that was his responsibility, to the point where he killed himself because he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. And people, when you know the truth, sometimes hang themselves, sometimes kill themselves, and cut their crowns off. But thankfully that has not been the case for me. And just know that I'm grateful for the fact that you guys are still waiting around, are still understanding of the process of what I'm going through. Shout out to any secret societies or secret societies. Y'all don't really think y'all are still in a secret, right? That's not what they're teaching you in these schools anymore. I hope not, because everyone sees you. This is the golden age. This is the age of Aquarius. Ding dong, it's you. Everyone sees you. But shout out to everyone that's in a secret society. Shout out to everyone that studies astrology. Shout out to everyone that's holding it together, that's keeping it together. I love you very, very, very much. And I apologize for having to take a step back and having to deal with myself and the realization of myself and where I am now, and the new responsibilities that I have to take on before my new year, because my new year starts 2 months before everyone else's new year. So I have a 2-month platform ahead of me before everyone else. And so yeah, things are going to happen, okay? Things are going to happen. We're not going to go into another dimension, flip out and die. That's not what we're doing. We're not going to die and not realize that we just died and we went into another dimension and we just got sold to somebody. It's a lie, okay? That's not what's happening, because the sacrifices have been made. And just remember this. God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, Allah, whatever you want to call it, the prophets, have killed either themselves or their only son for you, right? Like if I was a woman and I was in a predicament, in a situation where I've had to choose for the bigger picture, and I knew what was coming, and I've had to kill for that, or I would kill for that, I would kill. So the sacrifice has already been made. Okay, we're all fine. We're going to be even greater, even better. I just have a few things that I have to hash out with my council, and I have a spiritual council. If you have spirits, deities, ancestors, you have spiritual councils, and it's something that we're still trying to hash things out, because they want certain things for me that I don't want. They want me to be in certain situations that I don't see fit, because whatever they were doing before is not where we're going. It's not the plan, it's not the vision, it's not what I see. So I appreciate for those of you that have bestowed responsibilities upon me, that have faith in me, that have been real friends to me, that have been loving me, that have been keeping me in your prayers, that have been there for me, that haven't reported me. I appreciate you all, and I am truly, truly, truly not even worthy of everything that I have. I am not worthy of everything. I want to cry. Okay, I'm not worthy of the things that I have, because it's not something that I even want. The things that I have and the energies that I have and the spirits and the entities is not something that I even want. Not because it's not something that's, beautiful and amazing to me, but it's because without love, I can't be in a frequency. So if it's not for love, and it's not to vibe off of love, and it's not to create love or give space for love, so that we can raise our frequencies together, as we are raising our frequencies, we are ascending, then there would be no point. If I, in my own kingdom, have to continue to do the things that have been done in the past and have failed miserably, then there is no point in moving forward. And that's where I'm coming from. Okay, so I would like to bring my kingdom to this new golden age, but with good foundations, so that when you look at the tower doesn't fall again. When you look at the tower, you look up, and the tower will bring you back to the stars, and it will bring you back to God, the universe, Nephilims, whatever you want to call it. When you look up at the tower, it'll take you there. It won't just take you halfway there to fall out. Okay, so for those of you that understand what I'm saying, I mean, I appreciate y'all, and I just peace to all of you guys. We're gonna do this, okay? We're gonna go into the new year. Happy Halloween to you guys at 12 o'clock. It's already the new year. It's not January it's not December 31st, just January 1st. That's not how that works. We're already here. Okay, so I love you guys all very, very much, and please do not forget to water your life, okay? And know that if you are doing something for this world, don't do something selfishly, okay? Do something for this world, so that you don't bring in psychopathic kids into this world to make the world more imbalanced, more imbalanced than what it already is. Even though there's always going to be certain entities that come in and out of the planet, because that's just how the way things are, and also because of our own karma. So try to clear your karma first, and then we can go ahead and continue to reproduce ourselves as many times as your body permits as human beings. Okay, so promote humanity. We are a thriving species. We are an amazing species. We are a alchemically divine species. We are made in their image. So I hope you guys continue to water your life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned for the monthlies, etc., whatever. I'm still alive. I just needed time to digress and get into perspective again. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.